Remember sitting in math class wondering, when am I ever going to use this stuff in real life? Well, it turns out whether you're driving a car, checking your pulse, or just trying to figure out where all your money went, you're using that math every single day. So let's dive into this simple, super powerful idea that's kind of secretly running your life.
It's the age-old question, isn't it? You get your allowance or your paycheck, you feel good for a second, and then poof, it's like it just vanishes into thin air. Where does it all go?
So yeah, it totally feels like a magic trick, but trust me, there's no actual magic involved. Let's pull back the curtain on this little vanishing act and see what's really going on. And the good news is, you can totally solve this mystery. The key to taking back control isn't some complicated trick. It's just having a plan, a financial plan, so you can see exactly where every single peso is going. All right, so let's get into the tool that puts you back in the driver's seat, the financial plan. And don't worry, it's a really simple formula that literally anyone can use. You know, the best part about a financial plan is just how simple it is. It really just boils down to 4 steps. First, you figure out your income. Then, you list out your absolute needs. After that, your wants. And then the most important part, you plan out what you're going to set aside for savings.
And hey, this isn't just for grown-ups with big salaries. That's what this quote is all about. Even if your only income is your allowance, your but one, learning how to track that cash flow is a huge skill. It's all about building those good money habits early on.
Okay, so we've been talking a lot about managing money, right? But what's the core math idea that's making all of this work? Let's zoom out for a second and look at the engine running under the hood here.
So here's the secret. A budget isn't really about money. It's actually about a core math concept called a rate. Think about it. When you track your spending for a month, you're not just counting pesos, you're figuring out your spending rate. So what even is a rate? It's super simple. It's just a comparison between 2 different kinds of things. That's it. Like pesos and days, or kilometers and hours, or even heartbeats and minutes. It's like a bridge connecting 2 different measurements. And seriously, once you start looking for them, you'll see rates are everywhere. Your spending rate, how many pesos per day, the price of gas, pesos per liter, how fast you're traveling, kilometers per hour. Even your own pulse is a rate, beats per minute. It's all the same idea, just used in different ways to help us make sense of the world. All right, so we've seen how this rate thing works with our money. Now let's put this idea into motion, literally, and look at one of the most common rates we all use every single day. Yep, let's take this idea out on the road. The most common rate we deal with? It's gotta be speed. You know, how fast we're going from one place to another. And what's so cool about this is how speed, distance, and time are all connected. They're locked together. If you know 2 of them, you can always figure out the third. At its heart, speed is just the distance you've traveled divided by the time it took you. A perfect real-world example of a rate. Okay, let's do a quick fire round. A little word problem. A bus travels 100 kilometers and it takes 2 hours. So what's its average speed? We're looking for that rate, right? Kilometers per hour.
And boom, 50 kilometers per hour. See? You just take the distance, 100 kilometers, and divide it by the time, 2 hours. Super straightforward once you realize you're just finding a rate.
Okay, so let's tie this all together. What's the big lesson here? What do we learn from looking at our money and our travel time through this math lens?
And this is the really cool part where it all just clicks. The same logic, the same mental muscle you use to figure out your budget, your pesos per day, is the exact same logic you use to understand your commute, your kilometers per hour. It's one powerful skill you can apply to completely different parts of your life. You know, this quote really nails it. The whole point isn't just to do math problems on a worksheet. The goal is to get better at understanding and calculating rates in real-world situations, because that's where it actually matters. So at the end of the day, understanding rates isn't just some boring textbook math. It's a powerful tool for navigating your life. It helps you make smarter decisions, whether you're managing your budget, planning a road trip, or just trying to make sense of everything going on around you. So I'll leave you with this to chew on. When you think about your own life, from the money you spend to the time you have, what's the most important rate that you manage every single day? Something to think about.